Ladies and gentlemen, how are you? We're back for this Saturday night. I have some really good updates for you. Some interesting stuff about the Aaron Patterson trial. Some new articles out today, and it'll verify what I've been telling you for like a couple of weeks already. When I read the article and show it to you, you'll see what I'm talking about. This is my very last live show. This is my last live show until we head out to trial tomorrow. So I leave tomorrow and I'm heading out to Morwell in the afternoon. So we're driving out to our accommodation in the afternoon. I'll stay Monday night. We could have gone Tuesday, but it wouldn't have worked because trial's on like 8 a.m. in the morning. And I didn't want to leave home at like 4:30 a.m. just to drive out there. I was like, I'll just stay Monday night and, you know, relax a little bit. Maybe we can do a bit of pre-show stuff Monday in Morwell. I'll take you down to the courthouse Monday afternoon, Monday evening. I'll show you exactly where the trial's going to happen, and I'll explain. Like, you guys will get to see it just very slightly before the trial gets underway the next day. Next morning is jury selection. So Tuesday morning Australian time is jury selection. Wednesday, it is believed by then they should be impaneled and we should be open. It should be like Wednesday is opening statements. That is the fireworks. Like, this is the big thing. We actually start finding out what do they have against Aaron Patterson, because right now we don't know anything. Like, if you've been to the pre-trials and things like that, you may know some things, but there's no reporting on any pre-trial in Australia. It's against, it's just against the law, basically. It's against the sub judice legislation. So you can't do anything with pre-trial, even if you attend pre-trial hearing, you can't report on anything. So there is probably people who have been to it. I haven't been to any pre-trial for that reason. I didn't go to any pre-trial because I can't report on anything. So I could go there, spend all my time doing that, and I'd be like, yes, I can tell you nothing. I spent all day at court, and I can tell you exactly no information. Thank you for coming to my show. So I decided not to do that. So the first time I hear about all of this is going to be Wednesday morning. Wednesday morning, I sometime between Wednesday opening of court and then about 2 p.m., my sources are telling me they expect the prosecution to do their opening statement, and then the defense will get their shot at it in the afternoon. So that'll be a really big day. I'll be live streaming after court every day, but there will be some conditions, and the conditions are this. There will be no live chat on any of the live streams. There will be no comments open on any of the live streams. And this is to avoid me being arrested and thrown before the judge. That's not a joke. That is very serious. I've been warned now by two separate legal people that are involved in the trial to turn off all commentary. Now, I can report what I tell you from the trial, but we cannot have any live chat, cannot have any comments on any of the videos. I cannot really talk to you even on Twitter, unfortunately. So they even warned me against that. They're like, if people try and interact with you and ask you things about trial on Twitter, I can't tell you. I mean, I can tell you what we've talked about on the live stream, but I can't give you any opinion. I can't give you any analysis. I can't give you my thoughts. I can only tell you the facts of what happened during trial. So we all understand that. We're all on the same page here. This is a legal thing. Like, this is not me making a choice. It is my legal obligation to be in that courtroom. I cannot do it. Like, it's not me just being a dick. It's literally like the choice between me actually being able to do any content at all or me going to jail. That is literally the line. So please make sure you understand that. Please don't try and contact me about the trial. And if you do, you will not get a reply. I cannot afford to be thrown in jail. I'm far too pretty. I won't last in there. They'll get me. I promise. So we're all on the same page, right? But as soon as trial is over, the comments will come back on. Everything will get turned back on. As soon as we have a verdict, we're good to go. I can turn the comments back on. The live chat comes back on. We can all have a chat about it. So that's the rules. Okay? That's our rules. That's what we have to go with. So Ping doesn't get arrested. A broken jail pocket. Stop. We are not doing that. All right, it's not funny. You guys see, you always make me joke about stuff. All right, let's get going. Like, let's get the camera on. I just wanted to say that because I'm going to show you something. And you guys, I've been telling you this for weeks and months already, right? What does that say? Hotels booked out ahead of accused mushroom cook killer Erin Patterson's trial in Morwell. I told you guys, I've been trying to get accommodation for months, and I had an Airbnb booked, it got cancelled. I had a hotel booked, they cancelled and jacked the price up. And then I finally got a hotel room, but it wasn't at the one I wanted. The one I wanted is actually where the AP, Associated Press, is staying, but they were booked out. I talked to the manager, and he was basically like, "We have nothing." He's like, "I can't even offer you like a single studio or whatever." So I'm in a different hotel. It's one of the better ones. Thank the freaking Lord. There are some not great places in that area, unfortunately. But yeah, I don't want to be arrested. I don't want to be arrested. I just want to do my job. I just want to report on what happens in that courtroom, and I want to finish this story. I've been following this case since day one. Before any of you all knew about it, before any other YouTuber did it, before any other TikTok person or Twitter person or someone in the media did it, it was me. Go back and look at the videos. My videos were the first ones on YouTube about Erin Patterson. I guarantee you, there was no one else. We looked into it. We were the first to do it, and I want to finish that story. I want to get this done. I want to go to trial. I want to see her in court. I want to listen to the evidence, and I am seriously thinking about writing a book on my experiences of going to trial. So I've actually had some inquiries from a publisher that is thinking of offering me a book deal for it. So that keep an eye on that. I've not decided whether I'm actually going to do it or not. I don't think anyone really gives a shit what I say, but it is an interesting development. I might think about it. We'll see. We'll see at the end of the trial. But I'm getting excited. I'm a little nervous, and we leave in like less than 24 hours. I got a lot to do. I got to go wash crap. I got to wash clothes and pack all my stuff up and get all my streaming stuff, cameras, and all, get everything packed up and to go. And you just don't realize how much crap you use until you go away. You're like, I need a charger, I need my cameras, I need my streaming stuff, I need a laptop, I need like everything. I'll just take my house with me. I'm just going to pack up my entire house because I'm going for so long, 2 weeks, that I need it. Joe said, "Is this Oz's trial of the century?" I think so. I think this is the largest trial in I don't know about Australian history, but I'm going to say this is the largest trial in Victorian history, probably in a many, many good years, maybe decades. This thing is huge. I wish I could tell you some of the stuff I know from the background. Nothing to do with the trial. Just I've spoken to journalists and people involved in some other things. The attention on this is just insane. Like there is production companies in the US. There is a UK company who's going to be doing something on it. There's a doco coming out in Australia there's a company called Stan down here that's like a media streaming company. They're doing a documentary on it. There's like 4 different film crews that are going to be down at Morwell. So they are invading this tiny, tiny town. It's not a city. It is it is what we call I don't know, like a country. I call it a country town, but it's a rural area of Victoria. It's not like the town is fairly big. It's not like a one street town or anything. It's just not Melbourne. It's not Geelong. It's not Ballarat. It's not like Bendigo. It's smaller than that. It's quite small. So You got all this media descending onto that area for this trial that is expected to go between 3 weeks and 6 weeks. Now, yeah, so you got all these people heading down there. So I heard that there's not gonna be a lot of action on Tuesday. My sources that are also reporting on this saying that Tuesday is probably gonna be a pretty chill day, and it's probably a good day for me to go to court because apparently on Tuesday they don't expect a lot of media there, because it's jury impanelment, it's jury questions, it's not the, like, most sexy topic in the world, you know what I mean? But so it'll be a good day for me to get used to the court system, how to get into the court, how to get to the, um, which area I'm supposed to be in and stuff, what I can do, what I can't, all those type of things. Because Wednesday is gonna be the big show. Wednesday is like I can't even imagine. I'm gonna be live streaming outside of court after court. So as soon as the jury leaves, because 'cause we're not allowed to film the jury. As soon as the jury leaves, I'm gonna be filming out front of the court, and I'm gonna show you guys how much media is out there. It is gonna be bonkers. I just don't think people understand how big it's gonna be. It's just out of this world. Um, I Hear Morning says, "Ping just made me think of the guy at Coachella that even packed a cactus." What? Who packed a cactus at Coachella? I didn't see that. I was following Coachella every weekend. I must have missed the cactus thing. I was following Coachella both weekends. By the way, I found a new artist that I really love. One of my friends showed it to me, and I've got a friend that helps with the show, and they like Coachella too. And they were showing me this artist called Horse Girl, and I was like, "Horse Girl? What does that mean?" And then they're like, "Just watch the clip," and I was like, "Okay." And I watched the clip, and it's this woman that wears a horse head and sort of like looks like a horse and like DJs. And I was like, that's like the coolest thing I've ever seen. Yeah, Wednesday is the fireworks. Fireworks. Wednesday for me, it'll be Tuesday, very late Tuesday evening for you guys. Most likely, I'm guessing a lot of you won't see the content until you get up in the morning because it's late in the day. We're not going to get out of court till I think court on jury selection is probably going to be pretty early. We're going to get out, I think, about 3 p.m. But opening statements, I suspect, will drag. It's going to be a long day in court. There's a lot of information to get through. There's a lot of crap to get through. It's going to be a long day, that one. And I expect we're not going to get out till maybe later in the day. So it's going to be like 2 a.m. in the morning if you're on the East Coast. Joniel says, is packing a cactus a gay thing? I don't know. I don't subscribe to that part of the world, but you'd have to ask them. You'd have to ask someone who knows more about it. Ping doesn't know. Ping, yeah. Jury selection is important. It is. I don't mean that it's not important. I just mean that I don't think it's going to be as crazy as Wednesday for opening statements. Tuesday's probably going to be just a little bit quieter. So that's what I've been told from my people that I know going as well. So, Prince Andrew on trial. No, sorry. This is a different trial. We'll get to the Virginia Giuffre stuff in 1 minute. I just wanted to give this update because this article came out just before I went live, and it's pertinent to what the rest of this week is going to be. So, yes, hotels booked out ahead of accused mushroom killer Aaron Patterson's trial in Morwell. I've been telling you guys for weeks that that's the information I had been getting because I've been trying to book. Yeah. The Supreme Court trial is expected to get underway from Tuesday, with Crown Prosecutor Nanette Rogers SC and defense barrister, that's Aaron Patterson's side, Colin Mandy SC, to deliver their opening remarks after the jury is impaneled. I don't think opening statements will be Tuesday. I got told it's probably more likely going to be Wednesday. I don't know why. I just think it's going to get underway on Tuesday. So, hotels and motels across Morwell, the heart of the Latrobe Valley in Victoria's southeast, said they were booked solid from the middle of next week, with hospitality venues also expecting a rush of customers to come through their doors. Oh, yeah, it's going to be mental. They said Rodney Hardy of the Olive Tree Motel. Yeah, I actually spoke to Rodney, and I was trying to get a room there because they got a really nice hotel. They said they have no vacancies late next week with a flood of journalists coming to the town. He says, we are quite busy. We have a lot of Associated Press staying. We also have some bloggers and other press. That's not me. I'm in a different hotel, so that's not Ping. I'm staying at a different place. I don't know who those bloggers might be, but hopefully I'll meet up with them. Hey, if you're going to the trial and you're a live streamer or blogger or whatever, and you want to do some content, you want to meet up, maybe do some like co-op type stuff, let me know. Reach out to me sundaywithping@gmail.com, and we'll work it out. We'll work it out. Any journalists out there that want to interview? Maybe. Oh, I have a warning. I thought about this. So this is how this is going to work. I have already been approached for interviews, and this is what I'm going to say about that. If I have ever reached out to you before and asked for an interview, and you have been so rude as not to even reply to my email, then you can have one of these. And I'm not going to do the interview with you. It would take a nice apology and an explanation as to why that occurred. But for anyone else who I've never dealt with and you want that, sure, not a problem. I'll do an interview for anyone, except for those people. Carolina said they just canceled your booking every time someone offered them more dollars. Probably. My booking at the moment is fully paid for, and as far as I know, I've already pre-checked in, so I'm good. I'm going tomorrow to my hotel. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'm not like this is a collab thing. Like that's the thing people don't seem to understand about media. It's about working together, and if you're rude to me, you think that I'm such small fry that it's not worth dealing with. Well, when I have something that you want, you're not going to get it because it's a two-way street. Jonah says it's so upsetting about Virginia. We'll get to that in 1 second, okay? I just want to do this Aaron Patterson stuff, and then we'll get on to it. Yeah, I just, I'm so sick of journalists treating streamers like crap. It just drives me mental. They said the duty manager at the top pub said the venue was conscious of the upcoming trial and preparing for an increase in customers. He says we are aware and we are expecting it to be busy. So there you go. Ping was not lying to you about my hotel issues. It has been crazy, and I'm guessing. I actually think this is what have happened to my original hotel. I think a block got booked, so it was some sort of media company, Channel 9, Channel 10, AP, I don't know. They probably offered to take like 10 rooms, and because I've only got one room, they were like, just kick him out. So that's probably what happened to my original hotel. SP Mama says, by the way, I would buy your book and send it to everyone, Trish, and Insightful one too. Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I want a good offer. So they haven't given me a great offer for this particular company. If I get a decent offer and some sort of like, I don't know, we'll see. Just a good offer for it. We'll see. For my experiences since I've been covering it from day one, day zero. Joniel said, so you can talk about the case after the verdict, like weeks from now. Yes, that is true. So as soon as there is a verdict, and that doesn't mean that there is some trickiness to it. When we say verdict, the verdict can mean sort of like a few different things. It can be like, we're at the end of the trial and the jury has made their verdict, okay? That is one way the trial ends. There is other ways the trial ends too. Aaron Patterson could rock up to court on Tuesday and plead guilty. The trial ends and she goes straight to sentencing phase. There's a couple of other ways too. So, but the way I think it probably will go for us is that we'll get to the end of the trial. And at the end of the trial, when a verdict is reached, we will then be able to talk about it. I'll be able to give you my experience and I'll be able to tell you what I know. I'll be able to tell you all the things that happened over the last 9 months. Like there's a lot of things that we've not been able to talk about due to the sub judice laws. So there are a bunch of things that have happened in, over time that journalists are not allowed to report on. So I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that. Maybe not. But I can just tell you that this happens with every trial in Australia. How many on the jury and alternatives? I don't know if it's going to be a 12-person jury or an 8-person for this particular one. I don't think I've heard. And that's because I haven't been to any of the pretrial hearings. I don't know. I'll find out on Tuesday, and then I'll tell you. And then I'll tell you how many jury we're going to get, how many alternates, and how many women and men. That's all I can tell you as well about the jury. You guys should know that from American trials. I can tell you I think I can tell you how many men, how many women, and the number, but that's it. And we're not allowed to photograph them, not allowed to approach them, not allowed to have cameras running when they leave the court, not allowed to do anything like that. So when they leave and they're far gone, like away from the cameras, we can film. So I'll be filming outside the court when they leave and go home, probably like an hour after court. And yeah. So we'll have a lot of fun. I promise. It's going to be crazy. The other thing, someone said, are juries in Australia sort of like a grand jury in the USA? Sort of, but not really. Sort of, but not really. Some of it is, especially with the subjudice type things, but a grand jury never gets explained. It's always secret. An Australian jury is only secret during certain parts of it. As soon as there's a verdict, we can say whatever we want. That's the sort of different. And if you want, you can go to the courthouse and watch the trial. It's not secret. It's just you can't report on it as a media. Like you can't report on certain things. You have to be very careful of the subjudice rulings. So, all right, shall we move on? You guys all got your Erin Patterson update? You guys want to talk about Veronica Giuffre or Giuffre or however you pronounce her last name? I don't mean to be mean. I'm just really bad at French last names, I guess. So after yesterday, we did that really big live stream about Veronica and her untimely death. I've sort of been keeping an eye on the coverage, and I've been like, what is going on? Yeah. What has been going on? Like, what are people talking about? Like, I had a bunch of comments last night, a lot of different views and things like that. And I saw an article that came out today that said there's a big segment of people who are actually think. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just reporting what's out there. I'm fairly neutral on most topics. They're saying that they believe that her death is a setup. That someone, she had been in fear of her life for many years because of this situation, these very powerful people, that someone did her in, that someone killed her. I mean, it's possible. And that is maybe why the major crime squad in WA has been assigned to her death. I don't think normally if there was a self-death that they would assign that. I'm not saying that is true. I'm just saying I think they want to take every precaution necessary to try and rule everything out. Because there's normally with a self-inflicted death, they just write it off, send it to the coroner, and that's it. They don't attach a major crime squad to the death. They just don't do that. Yeah. So I would say this. In Australia, our regulations around death are very stringent. They are very much like our court cases. There's not a lot of wiggle room here. This major crime squad will make their determination in conjunction with the coroner. If at some point there is some questions that cannot be answered, it'll head to a coronial inquest. Now, this is very different from what you have in other countries. UK and Australia both do them. The UK does it a little bit differently. In the UK, when there's a death that's sort of half unexplained or there's questions, it'll automatically go to coronial inquest, like that. And then what happens is they open the inquest within days of the death, and they give a date. But in Australia, it's slightly different. A coronial inquest will be probably done at a later time, maybe a year from now, 2 years from now, and it'll be given a certain time frame, and they'll open it. So a little bit different between the UK and Australia. That is how this is different from, say, the USA. In the USA, when people die, it goes to the medical examiner or the coroner, and they do their investigation through that office. there's very rarely a secondary investigation through, say, like a coronial inquest. They don't sort of really do that. They take their findings from the ME. There has been other reinvestigations. You can ask for a secondary autopsy and things like that, but it doesn't sort of work the way it does down here. So this is what I say to you. If there is anything there at all, even one question, they will open an inquest for it and they will try to find out what the hell's going on. I guarantee it. There has been other types of cases like this over the last 3 decades, maybe not as big as Veronica's, maybe not, I agree. Maybe not as worldwide, maybe not as involving such powerful people. Okay, I get you. But if there's anything there that looks off, they will just send it because they just don't want any missteps. And I'm not saying WA police are perfect either. They missed a serial killer for like 3 decades. So that's, that's also their problem. So yeah, here, let me get Aaron off the screen. Bye, Aaron. We'll see you on Tuesday. Let's go over to Veronica. There was actually an interesting article out today in the Mail Online, by a woman who actually befriended Veronica back when she was doing her court cases in America. And that was very interesting. She said that what she saw was a paranoid, broken woman who didn't trust anyone at all, ever. And she, even in a hotel room, she was scared for her life. So here you go. There's a nice photo of Veronica. Very beautiful woman, really, really, really pretty lady. Which is probably why, what happened to her. Not saying that's why that happened to her, but that's probably part of it. Yeah, so this lady was saying that, what's her name? Her name is Daphne. And she said that she met her in 2022 and befriended her in a hotel while she was undergoing these court cases. And she was basically saying that she was a lonely, broken woman even back then, and that she preferred to stay in the hotel in America, isolated from her family, even after she could go home. Like, she wasn't bound to be in the court. She could leave. The trial was over. And they were saying that, uh, she could go home, and she didn't want to. She wanted to stay in this hotel by herself because, I don't know, maybe she felt safer. Maybe she felt like there was more security. I don't know. Oh, Virginia. Who fucked me on that? Someone did. I blame you. Veronica, where did I get that? Virginia. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Good work, Ping. You can blame everyone. I will. I'll blame you all. Sorry, where did I get that name from? I wrote it in the title. Did I? Did I write it correctly? No, I did. I did write it correctly. Where did I get mixed up with that? Oh, well. You can just blame Erin Patterson. I will. I'll blame her. Yeah, so Virginia. Sorry, Veronica. What the hell, Ping? Yeah, so this woman was detailing her sort of relationship with her, and I found it very interesting. She spoke to her around the time she had the spinal surgery. So she had this spinal surgery a few years ago. And she said that she always thought that, at least in the down times, that she was always pretty positive. Like, I can't imagine being in the hospital for spinal surgery. That must be one of the most scary times in your life, right? And she said that she was even staying positive through that. Very, very interesting. Very interesting to me. Don't forget to pack that potty mouth. I don't think I'm allowed to swear at trial. I Hate Morning says, when you deal with trauma, chronic pain, surgeries, and the end of a marriage, not having your children, the kids, teenagers, it's just a lot. I think her whole life was a lot. If you want to take it back to any one particular thing, it's the abuse that she suffered. That's like giving someone a mountain and then saying, "Here's 20 more." Like, it's not a thing that you can ever really climb over. It's something you're gonna just have to deal with for the rest of your life, and I'm not sure if she ever did or she was able to get through it. But this was something I found interesting. This woman said that there was a tweet that she put out it is old, it is quite old, and I would say this to you. In 2019, it's 5 or almost 6 years ago now, right? People's mindset changes daily. There was a tweet that she put out in 2019 that basically said that if I wind up dead, they did it to me. I'm just trying to find the copy of it. I thought I had one up here for you. No? Ah, no, we do have it. Hold on, guys. I don't know why it's not coming up. Virginia, Giuffre. All right. Ah, no. Ah, yeah, yeah. I'll go to the London Standard. I think they have a copy of it, do they? No, they don't. But they have the quote. It's okay. There you go. So they're saying here, she says, I'm making it publicly known that in no way, shape, or form am I S word. I have made this known to my therapist and my GP. If something happens to me, in the sake of my in the sake of my family, okay, we have to quote her. That's her words. In the sake of my family, do not let this go away and help me to protect them. Too many evil people want to see me quieted. I believe her 100%. I think there's probably a lot of powerful people that want her to disappear and go away. When you piss off the world's elite and rich, the last thing they want is to be in the papers. I promise you. That's why the Royals have an entire team, lawyers, media advisors, like everything. Like they spend millions a year on it because they don't really want to end up in the papers. These people don't want to end up in the papers either, especially about a underage girl being bandied about to them. I don't know. It's a long time ago. 6 years. 2019, December 2019. You can see the sort of like the for and against people's different theories. A lot of people think that she was taken out. A lot of people think that it just all became too much. And I do agree that she had some pressure points that were starting to happen in her life. The separation from her husband, who was supposed to be like her one true love, the separation from the only things that she had given this world, like from herself, her children, who she loved very much. She was separated from them too. And she wasn't even living in her normal home. She was living in a different property. She apparently had been basically almost kicked out of that property and separated and told to go live at the farm, basically. Those are all things that are like stresses in someone's life. I see both sides of it. I really do. I'm not saying I'm a conspiracy theorist or whatever, but I see why there's two sides to this argument. There's very much like equal opportunity here, and it's hard to say one way or the other. A favor for Trump? What would he care? What would he care? Oh, his name was on a airplane list or whatever. Who gives a shit? I mean, I'm not even a Trump person, but I don't care. I don't care if he went on a flight there. Who cares? Good for him. Um, yeah, Carolina says, but wasn't the damage already done, or do you think she had more tea to spill? So I read that apparently her legal team were hoping that she would eventually file more court cases against more people, but she had a court case filed against someone else and it failed. And apparently that scared her off doing any more court cases because I'm not sure if they think that she targeted the wrong person by accident or something else happened, but I know her legal team was hoping that she was going to do more in the future. I don't know if it related to just suing people who were involved or actual criminality. I'm not sure. But Jonah said that's very telling in her mindset, as well as the possibility that was going on behind the scenes. Yeah. Nine Alana says, what is the woman's name in prison who was with Epstein to go get her? Oh, Maxwell. Maxwell is her name. Yeah, I don't like her either. Hey, Pamela Roberts, how are you? Blaze says, Trump gets away with everything. I don't think he would care. Yeah, it doesn't seem like something. I don't think he would. Yeah, Ghislaine Maxwell is how you say your name. I don't think he gives a crap. I think he's got bigger things to deal with. There's a guy that's in a country that's got a war, and they were just with the Pope last night, like at the funeral. I think he's got more bigger things to deal with than her. So I don't think he gives a crap about that. She needs to be careful, or she needed to be careful. Well, she's gone now, so. Joniel says, nah, her career started at Trump's resort, Mar-a-Lago. Lardo? Was that a misspelling on, is it Lardo or Largo? I'm pretty sure it's Largo, right? Yeah, I don't know. But I would just say that for anyone who wants to rule out someone's like conspiracy theories, they've been right before. I'm not saying I believe them. I'm just telling you what I've read. Don't be so quick to be like, oh, those people are crazy nutbags. Like, no, that's how things are found out in the world sometimes. Like, don't be so quick to rush to judgment all the time. So yeah, you can say here, there's the normal suspects that have been doing it. Politicians, influencers, and rank and file members of the Make America Great Again movement, or what some people may consider the right, already fully rejected that Virginia, not Veronica, an Epstein accuser died via S word. Instead, several have baselessly pointed out that she was killed by the same people who wanted to keep Jeffrey Epstein quiet about illicit activities on the disgraced, financier's private island. Look, I'm not saying this is actually true, but I will tell you this. Powerful people do funny things. We all saw what happened when North Korea tried to take out his own brother. Do you guys remember that? He tried to kill, I think it was his brother, tried to kill his own brother in another country with that nerve agent. They hired those girls. They thought they were playing a prank, and then smeared it all over his face at a train station. But people with a lot of money and a lot of reach do funny things. So I'm just saying, who knows? I don't know. I wasn't there. Danny says, "Why wait this long?" I don't know. Maybe they wanted to get her when she was at her most vulnerable. I don't know. Maybe they were waiting for a time. Where they thought she was accessible, where there was less people protecting her. I don't know. I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying it's what's being reported. Joniel said she was massaging at Mar-a-Lago and met Epstein there. Okay. I'm sure a lot of people work there. Marlene said he killed him. He died. Yeah, he died. Yeah, the brother. Yeah, from Nerve Agent. What was it, like XV Nerve Agent or something? Really, really crazy. Moonlight View said she knew a lot. Lots of people would implode if exposed. Yeah, I'm sure she probably knows a lot of bad people that have a lot of reach. Danny says you got to know Andrew wishes it was sooner. That guy today must be having and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way. Please don't come for me. I'm just saying, like, that guy must be having the craziest day. He must be like, oh my god, it's over. But he shouldn't be like that, because we all know, like, everyone knows that he was sort of a part of it. So he's just a dirty old royal. Moonlight View said he died, right? Yeah, he died. He died. They basically put Nerve Agent, which was a similar but not the same chemical that was used in a different attack, but they smeared it on his face. And when you put something like that on someone's face, especially around the nose and the eyes and the mouth, it transmits, like, it goes into the body like super quick, because you have like an easier pathway. He basically had no chance. No chance. That stuff works so quick. It's crazy. If you remember, in England, about 10, 15 years ago, something like that, a girl picked up a perfume bottle, and I think she took it home and maybe tried to spray it or something, and it killed her. And it ended up being some sort of plot by someone else, and they had to basically shut down like the entire town to try and figure it out. Like, why did this girl die? Where'd the perfume come from? They made a mini series about it a couple of years ago. It was really good. LD says Occam's razor. Children suffering a lifetime of SA plus terror do away with themselves. I would say that you're right, that the research would tell you that the statistics match that. I've done a lot of those type of cases on this channel, and unfortunately, that is a very sad conclusion. Woodland Creature said Ping's live is a busy one tonight. Yeah, sorry about that. Danny Mitchell says no consensus on that mofo. That is true. Hey, good to see you. Uh, Her death is 100% related with the upcoming release of the list. Devil is in the details. Well, one day when we get the list and not like influencers out the front of like carrying this binder saying part 1. What a useless thing that was. And you just like you read it and it's like nothing in there. It's like stuff that everyone's known since the court cases, and they're like, "Oh my god, look, influencer people." And that was like the most useless thing in the world. Legal hunting. Hey, my friend, good to see you. Virginia worked as a locker room attendant at Mar-a-Lago when Ghislaine Maxwell found her there. It is interesting, but people work at all sort of places. I mean, if you want to make it all about Trump, go ahead. But I just don't care. I just don't like making stuff political just for the sake of it. I'm just not saying he's not involved, not saying he is. I don't think he's got way bigger problems to deal with. I think he's got way bigger things. He's got a crisis in friggin' like in Russia and stuff to deal with that is way bigger probably than any of this. Like that's like World War III. Someone could get really pissed off and fire nukes. Like that's what he's dealing with. He's literally dealing with like if someone just goes slightly the wrong way, someone's going to fire a nuke and then the world just ends. So I just feel like it's not high on his priority list right now. I feel like he's got way bigger things to deal with. Tanya LB said the list has been out for ages if you know where to go for it. I agree. There is a bunch of details on the flight list and stuff like that around. I do agree with you. I have seen that already. I'm not going to read it on this channel. Woodland Creature said, "Don't be sorry that your life is busy." Yeah, I know. I shouldn't be sorry. I should be happy. Joniel says a locker room attendant. Yeah, I mean, I think that might have been the least of her worries. After the things that happened to her, you read some of her testimony that did get out, and I mean, put yourself in her shoes. Imagine that was your life, where you were brought into that circle and it's all a game at first. Like that's how I think she basically explained it, that they used a type of grooming where it's like soft grooming, where they basically introduce you slowly to different aspects until you become comfortable with it. And they basically did that until they basically got her full into being a sex slave. So I mean, I can't imagine what that's like. I'm sure most of you can't either. Joniel said nothing is more important to him than his own affairs. Well, look, I'm not going to talk on Trump here. I just don't think it's beneficial, nor do I think it's really anything to talk about. LD says the Mossad and the British royal family involvement plus Maxwell's heiress are so much bigger than any one-term US president. There's institutions that have been around for so much longer that are way more in depth and involved in like global affairs and how things work and how things run. So I just don't think that's anything really. Joniel says she was using her. Yeah, well, we all know how that works. There was a guy. Who's that guy? The Patriot guy, the guy who owns the Patriots. He was caught near there getting a what word can I use on YouTube? He was getting a massage that ended with a surprise eruption. That's the way I'm going to put it. And he was caught on video. We all know that video. He's like, "Hello, police officer. What would you like?" They're like, "Hey, did you go into that massage place?" He's like, "Oh yeah, yeah. Gonna need a massage. I'm old." They're like, "All right." They're like, "We got cameras in there. We seen your wiener. We know what you're doing." Yeah, that was pretty embarrassing. That's why you just get the girls to go to your house. No, Ping, don't advocate for that. That's very wrong. Don't do that. Gayla says happy ending. All right, we'll use that word. Nanalana says thank you, Moonlight View, for deleting. Do we have someone being stupid? Don't be stupid. This is one of the most free channels on YouTube. I don't restrict people's opinions. I let everyone have their say. If you're on that side, that's okay. If you're on the other side, that's okay. We don't like we don't try and like restrict your free speech or anything. That's the way I think is healthy debate. Channels that want you to follow their own opinion are stupid, and I think that's a really stupid way of doing healthy conversation. And yeah, it's not what we do here. Danny Mitchell said Shannon Sharp could be cancelled. I don't think that's got anything to do with Virginia. Yeah, thanks for deleting that. No victim bashing. Yeah, no victim bashing. Don't do that. Why, someone call her something? That's not very nice. Don't do that. I think you could at least be, if you're not on her side, you could at least be empathetic to what she went through, because I doubt any of you have been through that. So if you just think she's this nasty witch that set up a lawsuit or whatever, I mean, sure, that's your opinion. I get it. But I don't believe all her experiences would be lies. I think she knows far too much to be just like, I read this in a book that I bought on Amazon. I just, no. So you can at least have some empathy for a woman who is no longer with us and have a respectful discussion on it. So yeah, she was, oh, it was Joe, was it? Joe, come on, buddy. Come on. She's dead, bro. Like, come on. Gotta be somewhat empathetic. Yeah, so I think the sort of conversation that changed overnight has definitely sort of moved in that direction. A lot of people want to see not like evidence of the crime scene, but they just want more information on sort of how it, not how it happened, but just, I think they just want to see more confirmation that this is actually what happened. And it's not some sort of like, there was a ninja. A ninja came into her house, snuck under all the cameras, and then had a samurai sword. Like, I just think they want some sort of like confirmation that this is actually what happened. It'll happen, I promise. The WA police do a fairly good job with murder investigations, although Bradley Edwards is a outlier, but they do mostly a good job. And I think if there was even a speck of a question, they would just send it for review. They just don't want the headache. WA police have been under so much intense pressure over the last 2-3 decades because they screwed up the Bradley Edwards investigation, that they would never take a chance on anything. Nothing that could ever like blur their image, ever. They copped so much heat for what they did in the Bradley Edwards murder investigation. Bradley Edwards was a serial R-wordist and murderer in WA. So they actually missed it. So for like 3 decades, they missed that it was this guy, didn't investigate it properly, and it took them like 2.5, 3 decades to finally catch him. And they just copped like nuclear type heat from everyone because the evidence was there the whole time. And so if there's anything here with Virginia, again, not Veronica, sorry about that. I think they would just send it off for review. They're just not going to deal with it because they've had so much bad stuff in the press over the last like 10 or so years. They're just not going to do that. And like I said, the way the stature works in Australia through the courts and the sort of way the leveling works through the different organizations, it's very different from America. America is just like you die, you go to the ME, and then they bury you. Here, it's a little more complex. There's more levels to it, and there's more reviews. So it's not going to be the same as over there. Things can be missed, things can be changed, people can be bought off. In Australia, you're dealing with like 5 different agencies all at once. All at once. There's not just like one person where they could slip a body out and put a different body in there, or you're dealing with like a bunch of different people who are overseeing the same thing. And you would have to like somehow buy all of them off. You know, you're talking about like corruption that runs so high. And like we know in her case, I get it, but I think it's really difficult to do when you have so many different agencies and maybe not all of them are on your side. What if they don't want to do it? You know, then you've got a big problem. So I'm just saying, I think if there's anything there, we'll find out more and it'll come out. Rachel said, Ping, will they release something after an investigation or is it more likely you hear nothing? So normally when someone, if it is a self-death, most likely you're not going to hear anything. In Australia, the reporting around people who die via that way is very restricted. Very restricted. But Due to the public interest in her death and her life, that's what I mean. I think they could send it for a coronial inquest to kind of deal with the public interest in it. And that way you get answers, you get a second look at it. So when it goes to a coronial review, that's like saying, don't worry what this other coroner and this other investigation found. We don't care about that. We're going to do our own investigation and we're going to start from the ground up. So there's sort of like these fail safes built into the system here that you don't really get in other countries. So that's what I'm saying. I think it's the likelihood of something being missed here is very unlikely. Nana Lana said, "No, I don't think Daniel." What did he say? What happened? Who's being a dick? Joniel said, "I never victim bash in a serious way." I think you just got to pick your time, buddy. I think you got to pick your times. I think when you're dealing with a woman who died like a day ago, I think maybe it's too soon. maybe a little too soon. Uh, yeah. So that's what I think. I think most likely you're not going to hear a ton more. If they do find that there's something here that needs to be investigated by the coroner, you're going to have to wait a while. Normally, coronial inquests don't happen for like 12 to 24 months after the death. So it's going to be a while. And that's even if they do one. So we'll see. We'll see. Shasta, hey, my friend, how are you? I hope her kids know how brave she was. I do too. I hope so. Oh, hey, Jonah. I didn't see that before. Sorry, my friend. I think we're dealing with the Veronica, Virginia thing. Sorry about that. Jonah sent in a super sticker. That is very generous of you. You know, Jonah has been one of the most generous people on this channel to help with the trial. I very much appreciate it. There's been a few people. Actually, I don't see my friend here tonight. Is she here? My friend from Texas. She's not here. I don't. So she kept saying that she wanted to write me another email because I didn't reply to her email, but I did reply to her email, so I hope she was able to get it. I replied to that email like 2 weeks ago, so I hope she found it. I hope she read it. Hey, Danny, what's up, buddy? I give you one of these. There you go, because you're like my buddy. There you go. Joniel says I do think her name could replace. Well, I don't know about that. Moonlight View said, if she hadn't claimed the name of who might want her unalived, I wouldn't consider a conspiracy. I think she wrote that for a reason. Nalana says, no, I didn't think that. Okay, yeah. I'll give you some scenarios and you tell me in the chat what you think. Like, out of your possibilities of things that could happen and how this happened. So let me know what you think. So it's not me just giving you my ideas all the time. Is this DV related? Could this be like some sort of DV incident? Because I've seen some people bandy that about over the last 24 hours. Could it be a DV incident? Possibly. They're going through a court case and there's a lot of stuff going on. There's even an AVO that got breached. There's a lot of stuff like that. Could it be a DV incident? Could someone have killed her? That's your second option. So option 1 is a DV. Option 2 is someone tried to kill her. Or did kill her, sorry. And then option 3 is what is the media and the state police reporting in Australia is that she took, she did it herself. So options 1, 2, and 3. Let Ping know what you think. And I don't know if we can put up a poll. I mean, I can dance on the poll if you want me to, but I can't. I don't think we can do one from here. I can't do one from in this screen I'm in. So you guys are just gonna have to let me know. Danny Mitchell said, "What was the manner of death? We don't know. That information has not been released to the public. That information most likely will not be released to the public. So, like I said, in Australia, reportings about self-inflicted death, you don't get that. You don't get that information. It's not like America. It's not like America where they're like, here's some crime scene photos and we're going to explain to you exactly how this person died. It doesn't work that way here. There's a sort of reporting moratorium on like S-word death. They just don't really report on it. The fact that there's even articles about her, the only reason is because of her public profile. That's it. If this was Jane McNeely that lives down the street at 28 Walker Street, you'd never hear about it. I promise you. You would never even know that she did it because they don't want people getting like ideation and then copycat syndrome. So in Australia, it's quite restricted. So, Shasta said, I think self-inflicted based on the weird stuff a few weeks ago. I think that photo, that one that she posted where she looked all bruised up and then she wrote that stuff. I think that is a interesting thing. It's like, why would you post that? Like, where's your mindset about what were you trying to achieve? And when I look at that post, I think I think she was trying to ask for help. I think she wanted help from her family. I don't think she wanted the rift between her family to continue. I think she wanted her children. That's what I think. And because you read at the bottom, she said, "I'm ready to go. I just want to see my babies one more time." I think she really missed her children, and I think that weighed heavily on her a lot. Rachel said that post is very sad and a red flag to me. And it's strange where she said she thought it was going to go on Facebook, a private Facebook page for her family, but ended up going up on her public profile. Really? Really? You have to log into each thing to do the freaking post. You have to upload the photo, you have to write the caption. At no point were you like, hey, this is not freaking Facebook. This looks like Instagram or whatever. Like, they're very different. Like, I don't think you're like cross posting with a multiple. Like, there are things like TweetDeck and stuff like that where you can write something and then it posts to all three. Maybe she had an app like that, but if you're posting just in the one app, it's very hard to be like, oh, this was supposed to be for a private Facebook page. So I don't think that was for real. I think she meant to post it publicly. Laurie said, why didn't she see her kids? So if you take her side of what she said, it's because she says her children had been isolated against her from her ex-partner, and that he had been sort of parent alienation against her. He had been basically poisoning them against their mum. Is that true? I don't know. I don't have the court records to show you. And I'm not going to say yes or no because I don't have those records. There are records because we know because she had an AVO taken out. Is that a retaliatory thing? I don't know. Is it something for real? I don't know. No one knows. The only person who may know is Victoria's family, his family, the husband's family, and the courts, because you're dealing with like a family issue. So in Australia, anyone dealing with anyone under the age of 18, you are legally denied reporting on it. So no one can talk about it. You can't report the documents or anything. So can't do that. Legal Hunting says Facebook and Insta are both Meta, and I've had posts appear on both when I thought I was posting on just Facebook. Okay. I can't say I use a lot of Instagram or Facebook. I don't like either of them, but I believe you. I believe you. Oh, I think people are just gotta just ignore his comments if you don't like him. All right. Let me see if I can get you an update. I need a drink because I've talked too much, which people accuse me of all the time. Let me go find Virginia. I got it right this time, okay? I wrote it in the title. Of course, I know her name. Hey, let me take you out to the NBC News. Yeah, let me take you out to NBC. This was the update yesterday. I just want to play it. It's got information for you. It's only about 1 minute and 48 seconds.
When the scope of Jeffrey Epstein's crimes finally came to light, Virginia Giuffre was the woman at the center of the story, publicly sharing painful details of her own experience. In a statement to NBC News tonight, her family announcing the 41-year-old mother of 3 took her own life, writing she lost her life to suicide after being a lifelong victim of sexual abuse. Giuffre said she was recruited by Epstein's girlfriend Ghislaine Maxwell when she was just 14 years old. According to Giuffre, it was the start of years of sexual abuse by Epstein, Maxwell, and their friends.
It was that constant, we own the police. You can't run. You can't tell anybody. We'll never be held accountable for this.
At age 17, Giuffre said Maxwell and Epstein directed her to have sex multiple times with Prince Andrew, an allegation the prince denied. Giuffre sued, and she settled with the prince in 2022, receiving an undisclosed amount of money. Epstein and Maxwell were both charged with sex trafficking. Epstein took his own life in federal prison before standing trial. Maxwell was convicted and given a 20-year sentence. In one of her last social media posts earlier this month, Giuffre said she was hospitalized after a car accident and was gravely injured, posting a disturbing photo. But days later, she was released. Tonight, the family says they are heartbroken, writing Giuffre was heroic and will always be remembered for her incredible courage and loving spirit. Stephanie Gosk, NBC News.
There you go. So there's the recap for you from NBCnews.com, NBC in the US. Yeah. Yeah, the mods have to keep an eye on you. That's right, Joe. Hey, if they didn't like you, they just ban you. I promise. We've banned people before 100 times. And they're quick. They're just like that. They'll just kick you out and ban you. But they haven't done that, have they? You've been here every night. Carolina says, no matter what her cause of death was, she suffered, and it's incredibly sad. Yeah, I agree. I think anytime you have someone who went through this, even if you don't believe her story, even if you think her photo is full of crap, fine. But what she went through in the preceding part, even if you try and label it her own whatever, I think it might break anyone. The media attention, the spotlight, the harassment, and like that lady said in the article we went with the start of the show, even during the trial, she was like a broken woman, paranoid, hiding in a hotel room, wouldn't go out, wouldn't order dinner, wouldn't go out to like the shops or anything around the hotel. She basically hid in a hotel room and would have people come to her and be checked through security or whatever. I mean, that just, I don't think it's an act. I don't think someone could do that for that many years. Do you? Do you think someone could like pretend to be that paranoid for life? I mean, unless you're unless you had some sort of mental illness like a schizophrenia or something, which I don't think she did, you I don't think you could keep it up. Eventually you'd be like, "Oh, it's all fun. I'm over being acting like that. I want to go back to my old life." So I don't think so. Hold on. Yeah, it does. I think a lot of her symptoms do sound like some sort of PTSD, very similar to what people, not the same, but some people in the military suffer from their service to the country. So not the same, I'm saying, like, but you can get PTSD from a variety of different things. LD says, when one is ambushed and terrorized as a child into adulthood with the abuser showing up from anywhere and threatening you, that will be the effect. Yeah, I mean, that guy had crazy reach. I mean, you hear some of the stories of where he used to go. He'd be in LA one day, he'd be in New York the next, he'd be in Bangkok the following day or whatever. Good work. You have to go home. You're drunk. Go home, drunk person. She dropped a cup. Rachel said, I don't think it was an act. There are some very powerful people, and she went through a lot in her life. Yeah, I do agree. I think depending on the extent. Legal Hunting says NTT Virginia sued Maxwell for defamation in 2015 for calling her a liar. They settled for an undisclosed sum in 2017. The thing about settling for cases, and again, I'm not blaming it on her, or I'm not saying she's a liar. I'm just saying that I've been around enough court cases to know that oftentimes people who have money would rather just give you some money to go away and settle than to actually go through a trial. I'm not saying that's what happened here. It's just, it's something you have to think about with certain things. Was she having financial difficulties? No, not at all. She She had more money than she knew what to do with. Millions, millions, and millions and millions. Her reported payout from just Prince Andrew, just him alone, was over $12 million. Over 12 million. And if that's in American dollars, that's almost like 16 million, 16, 17 million Australian dollars. So she was extremely wealthy by Australian standards. There is not a lot of people in Australia that have like, it's not like in America where there's a lot of people who are millionaires, billionaires, that type of thing. We have some, but there's not a wide amount of them. So she would be probably classed in a high degree of, wealth. She'd be pretty wealthy. Not like super wealthy, not like, billionaire, but comfortable. She wouldn't run out of money anytime soon. Her reported property, thank you, Daily Mail, was like 1.9 million. So that's only like what, 8% of her total net wealth. And then her other property was like 1.1 million. So there you go. She spent just on property less than 10% of like what she was given. So I don't think she was running out of cash anytime in the future. Tanya said she was hell no, she was paid 16 million. Yeah, she's not running out of money anytime soon. Yeah, I think it was like 16 Australian, 12 or 13 American dollars. I can't remember if it was American or in pounds. You'd have to tell me, but yeah. Joniel, a Karen Reid channel. I have no appetite for the Karen Reid trial. I have no appetite for it. I just not interested. I mean, I get why it's interesting, but I just don't care. I mean, if you ask me my opinion on it, I think it's pretty. It almost feels like the DA is like a dog with a bone. To go after her so heavy after the last trial and then put it back on trial less than 9 months later, I think says a lot more about the DA than it does about her. And even if she did kill him, I mean, it says more about the DA than her. Yeah. Tanya says 16. Oh, yeah, that's what I said before. I thought it was about 12 million American money. 12 million plus about 30% is about 16, 17 million. So, yep, we're on the same page. I want to say, oh, hey. So if you notice during the show, if you notice during this live show, I don't just sit here and be one of those dickheads who's like, please donate to the channel. Oh, this channel runs on donations, whatever. We just don't do that here. I got more important things to talk to you about, and I can't stand losers who do that. I just think it's the epitome of bottom class YouTube. I hate it. When I got started on YouTube, I was just like, I'm not doing that. I think I did it like once or twice when I started my channel, and I was like, I feel dirty doing it. I was like, I just don't want to do that. So can't stand people who do that throughout their live shows. If people want to donate to the channel, they will. If they want to send in a super chat, they will. They don't need reminding. They know how YouTube works. Joniel says it's the people in the Karen Reid chat that make it fun. Savages like me. I don't know if you're a savage. Might be a beta, but we'll see. Danny Mitchell says GH is out of control. I don't know who that is. Carolina says we all know who that sounds like. I don't know who that is. I don't know who you're talking about. I don't even know what a GH is. What does that mean? Is that like the Grand Hilton or something? I don't know. I've never seen such a thing. I would never call out another YouTuber directly. I would never do such a thing to anyone like that. I'm far too impartial. Never. Yeah. Let's just keep going. Let's keep going. I want to talk more about it, but I want to find a better thing for you. By the way, just so we have a little break, just for 2 seconds, I brought you a story yesterday about a jogger in Melbourne who was stabbed in Reservoir. Would you believe that it happened again this morning? I'm not kidding with you. These people were stabbed in the city. I was like, what is going on in Melbourne? Is everyone just running around stabbing people? It is the most bonkers thing I've ever seen. It's like, what is going on here? People are just walking around just stabbing random people. They're saying it was understood it was a girl was amongst a group of 10 to 15 teens when she was approached when she approached a man and stabbed him. Okay, why? Is there a reason for it? They don't say why there's a reason. They just said that police confirmed 2 men in their 20s had been taken to hospital with serious injuries, and that a witness told the Herald Sun the woman had approached them asking for a lighter when she was attacked out of nowhere. And they said that they found a bloodied individual about a block away, bleeding from their wound. Oh my God. What is wrong with people? Don't be going out stabbing people. Get some nerve agent. Go talk to North Korea. Get some nerve agent. So it happened over here. And as you could see, there was a bloodied footpath too. So someone copped a pretty bad, not as bad as that jogger. If you went and watched that video, did anyone go and watch the link I posted yesterday of the guy that was jogging and got stabbed in Melbourne? I've never seen such horrific footage in my life. I mean, I've seen murder scenes and serial killers and people cut up from them, but this dude just got stabbed in the gut and he was just running, and it's just like he was covered red. So why these people got stabbed, I've got no idea. But Melbourne's going a bit mental, apparently. Tanya said it would be nice to hit the like button. Thank you. I would appreciate it. The other thing I would say is that um I've been told from people that I should probably tell people to subscribe to the channel a little more, because our we get a lot of views, but the subscriber count hasn't gone up that much. So if you haven't hit that button, the subscriber button, I would appreciate it. I don't really nag people to do it, but it would help me out a lot if you did, especially with the upcoming trial. A lot of these producers and things like that, they're a little like funny about channels that aren't got like a high account. And I've had some really good ones that understand that I get a lot of views and comments and likes and stuff like that, and they see past it. But some of them just look at the number and they're just like, "Oh, it's too small. Don't worry about that." So if you'd like to help me out, that really would help. Joniel said, "I wear body armor outdoors like a knight. Is it all shiny and you walk around? Do you have a horse? Do you put the armor on the horse as well? You should tell me about that. I want to see a photo." LD said, "Subscribe last night when I first heard you." Thank you. I appreciate that. Both of you. Tanya as well. Thank you very much, guys. Guys, ladies, people. All the spectrum of analogies and words. I appreciate it. I really do. I don't know. I get told after every show, they're like, you didn't say anything. You didn't ask. And I'm like, we've got more things to talk about that we have to do. All right. Let me go to a different one. Out of what the Herald was reporting on it, they had a different view on her death, and I wanted to show it to you. If I can find it. Yeah, here we go. This is where that post came from. Okay, I got you. That's a photo of her there. That's that other photo that we've all seen. There's her. There's the infamous photo of her and Andrew. There's her. That's not the one we're looking for. That's her property, by the way. That's her farm. This is the farm. I'm pretty sure. Is this the one at near Gabby? Yeah. This is the one where this is the property where she was found dead. This is the property where it was reported that there was a female unresponsive. So they came out here. By the time they got out here, they tried to revive her. It did not work. They rendered first aid, but realized that she was already gone. This was the property here. Quite a beautiful property. Beautiful place. You would hope someone with that kind of space and, isolation would maybe be happy, but maybe not. They're saying here, no, that's not what we want. Nope, that's not it either. It was this. Her representatives told this masthead that she was involved in an incident in January of this year. Her brother later said that the incident left her with a cracked sternum and a perforated eye and almost killed her. That was a few months ago in January of 2025. A cracked sternum. What the hell? How do you get a cracked sternum and get hit by a car? That's the only thing I can think of. That she was hit by a vehicle or someone hit her with a car? I don't know, but to be hit in the chest that hard to crack the sternum, that's the only thing I can think of is some force like that, like a vehicle. Because often people who get hit by cars often get crush injuries to the chest. That's why when it said that particular injury, I was like, well, that's normally in some sort of car accident. So I don't know if that's true, but it was a car accident. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because normally when people are hit in a vehicle or in a vehicle that gets like restrained across the belt, it's always across this part of your chest, always, even outside or inside the car. So what is in the farm? I think farm is a very loose word for anything that is a giant property that's in a rural location. I don't think it was actually a farm. At least I don't see any photos of livestock or anything. Yeah, I can have a look for you, but I don't see in this photo any animals. Yeah, I don't see unless this thing over here is to keep animals or horses maybe, but I don't see any like paddocks where you would keep like beef cattle or like sheep or something, unless it's not in this photo and it's in a different part of the property. I think just farm's a word that, gets used for a rural large property. Hey, guys, stomach, shut up. We can eat later. Gayla says not a working farm. Yeah, it's just sort of like a big rural block of land. Chris, hey Chris, how are you? Chris says, I can't see how one can be anti-Virginia. Okay, I agree with you. I think there's been a lot of people that have shown a lot of disrespect to a woman who died online and in comments on X and Facebook and things like that. There's been a lot of people that shown a lot of disrespect. I hope when they die that people show them more respect than they showed her. I don't think you got to remember her family's watching. I guarantee you. Her family keeps an eye on all the media about her all the time. They check into stuff. They go on live streams. I've seen them in chats places. They check out what's being said about her quite frequently. So, not saying you should be wary of what your comments say. Just be respectful. They lost a family member. That's it. Wendy R says people are anonymous behind their keyboards. Can I be anonymous? I want to do that. How do we do that? Oh, don't have a YouTube channel? Okay. Damn, I should never have done that. I could have stayed anonymous. Wow, that was a big mistake, wasn't it? All right. Yeah, I don't think I have another photo of that place. Let me see if I can find one quickly. I don't think she's probably taken a ton of photos of that place to keep the security. That photo probably came from a list like a it probably came from like a real estate listing or something. Sounds like someone did fly over the property though after her death. Look at this. 7 News flew over the property by the looks of it in a helicopter after her death. That's if they did, that's really disrespectful. To fly over the property, like what are you hoping to see? Her ghost? A ninja? Are you hoping to see the assassin? Like what's it got to do with anything? You're not going to see her body being wheeled out. They would have done that hours ago. Even King Charles, yeah, he apologized to her, didn't he? Isn't that what he said? He said like he felt sorry for victims of Epstein or something. Andrew says ghouls. Yeah, to fly over the property. That's pretty. I don't know if this happened when she died or if it happened when that bus crash thing, like when they reported her in hospital or whatever, and they may have flown out there at that time. I'm not quite sure. It doesn't give me a description, but either way, I mean, it's a big invasion of privacy, isn't it? Especially if it is after her death. Like, what are you going to see? The coroner van? Is that what you want for your for your media cast? I just find it strange. Like, oh, you got a photo of a property. You can be the Daily Mail. You can tell us how much it cost. Let's see. All right. Let me check one other place. I wanted to check about the alternate theories because I think that's a good talking point. Yep. Okay. Here's that tweet. By the way, the photo is right here. So there's that old tweet from 2019. But like I said before, I would caution people that if you think back to when you were in 2019, December 2019, we were just about to all learn that our lives were about to be shut down for a period of time. It's true. Uh, December 2019 would have been the last time any of us knew about a world without COVID, without the pandemic. It would have been like our last Christmas where we all didn't know about stupid booster things and whatever. That would be the last point. So it's quite a while ago now. I can't believe how fast time has moved. That year, the Niners went to the Super Bowl. They went to the Super Bowl and lost. And then they went to the Super Bowl last year or the year before and lost. So my Niners are not very good. Virginia says, yeah, we already read it. It says, I'm making it publicly known that in no way, shape, or form am I S word. I've made this known to my therapist and GP. If something happens to me in the sake of my family, I don't think that's a real thing to say, but okay. Do not let this go away and help to protect them. Too many evil people in this world want to see me quieted. I hope she's written some of whatever this is down, whatever more information that she had. I hope her lawyers have it or someone has it for safekeeping. If I was in this situation, right, and I knew there was people wanting to come and get me or the possibility was there, I would write like a manifesto and I would send it to like Germany or something and lock it in a vault. I mean, she's a millionaire. She has the chance to do that. I would send it to someone who other people didn't know I knew. So I'd send it to someone I trust, but they had no idea that we were in contact or friends. And then I would make them safeguard it and put it somewhere. I hope there's a USB, a hard drive, a book, writings from her that she's hidden. If there is anything more, I hope it has been not taken to the grave. I hope that will be done. Chris says even King Charles thinks Andrew is a pedo and has sent him to live in a tent with Fergie outside a pizza shop by decree. Yeah, he's really cross with his brother. He really doesn't like him at the moment. It's very much not a happy family. Jojo says just hard to think she chooses not to leave her children behind. Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me either, but rarely does, if you want to take the official account, rarely does S word ever really make sense for anything, for anyone. Because you go, well, they had so much. They had children, or they had money, or they had property, or they had work, or they had a fulfilling life. But sometimes people just they can't get out of that black hole and they can't see the light at the end of that tunnel. Maybe she got to that point. Maybe she thought her children were never going to come back. Maybe she thought that by doing this, she freed them from something. I have no idea. You would have to be more in her personal life to know better details about it. So, LD says December 19, our then 30-year-old son showed us a BBC interview live, and we rolled on the floor with laughter before we heard any commenters on it. Within 2 weeks, we were looking for sold out N95s. Yeah, I actually remember that. There was a video going around just before the Super Bowl because I was watching because of my 49ers, and people were flying on planes with N95. And I was like, an N95 mask? What is this? Like, why would we wear this? This is like Tokyo when they have smog and they got to wear the mask. And I was like, I'm not doing that. Like, why do we have to do this? I'm like, our country doesn't have this virus. And within about 3 months, where I live in Victoria, we went into a 2-year lockdown. 2 years. Now, there was a break during the warm months where they lifted the lockdown. And then as soon as we went back into the winter the following year, they locked us down again. We went through 2 years of lockdowns in Victoria. One of the longest lockdowns in the Western world. And I don't ever want to go back to that. That was awful. They had rules down here like only one person could leave to do the shopping. and only one person could go do. Like, I don't want to live in a country that's like that. Let's just nuke it if they're going to do that again. Gayla says the end of 2019 was horrible. Yeah, I don't think it. Does anyone want to go back to 2019? Do I have any takers? If I have one ticket in a time machine, does anyone want to go back to 2019 or early 2020? Anyone? Any takers? Free time machine travel, but you can only go there. Does anyone want to go? Should we give it to Elon Musk? No, no one wants it. Okay. No, it was horrible. Yeah, I don't want to go back either. I don't want to go back. I want to stay here. I survived all that crap. I don't want to go home. I don't want to go back there and do it again. LD says only to bring back our dead. Yeah. The people I feel sorry for in that period were in Victoria where I live, you were unable to have more than 10 people or something at a funeral. There's a lot of people who died, maybe not even from the virus, but from other things, that they never had a proper funeral because only like 10 people could be there. And that's including the ceremony people and all that. So you only had about 5 family members that could go. I think anyone who had a person die during that period and had to bury them in that way, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. I really wouldn't. It would have been very hard. My grandfather died the year after the lockdown finished, and we were lucky that he somehow survived a few more months after our last lockdown, and he died February the following year, and we were able to have a full funeral for him. So we were lucky, but I understand what it would have been. It would have been horrible if we could only have 5 people. I think our family would have imploded. Gayla says, I would get the doctors to listen to me read my mum's memory to help her with the Alzheimer's earlier. That would be good. LD said, we spent the last hours with close loved ones and did the funerals too by Zoom. It was a time. We are happy to have survived. I'm happy I survived too. I never got the virus during the lockdown. I did get it later on when the lockdown lifted, but during the 2 years when it first happened, I didn't get it. And I've only ever had it once, luckily. Thank the world. I've only ever had it once. And it was very mild. I basically felt like I had a cold for 3 days and it just went away. Carolina says, I worked at a grocery store. We had to try and save toilet paper for our seniors and met them at the back of the store like drug dealers. Oh my God, there was a woman in Australia who they were like hogging toilet paper in a supermarket, and then they got in a fight with another woman, and the 2 women who were hogging the toilet paper end up being charged because they're the ones who instigated the physical contact. A girl got mad because she's like, you're hogging it all. Like, 'cause I think they picked up like 10 packets, and that's all the store had. And this girl's like, give me one, and she grabbed one. And then the 2 people on one woman beat her up in the store to get the toilet paper back. That's how crazy our world was back then. People used to beat each other up for toilet paper. It's very strange. Danny Mitchell says, we have not recovered. I think there's still a lingering effect in places. Yep. LD said the fights on YouTube over toilet paper were our entertainment for a time. You know, the only thing that got me through that period was there was a comedian in Australia who used to do like these little videos every day about the different state premiers. So I can't remember what his name is now, but he was really popular during the pandemic. And he used to wear like wigs and outfits and stuff, and he would change it depending on the premier. And he just nailed like their mannerisms and the jokes every day. It was the only thing I look forward to throughout the entire lockdown. Every day looking for him. It was so funny. That was recorded. Yeah, it was recorded. How embarrassing. I agree. Danny Mitchell said, Smoke and Scan saved me. Hey, D, I like D. Unfortunately, we're not friends or anything, but I do appreciate his content. And I think he's a pretty cool guy. I really like him. Gayla says, the Tiger King. By the way, if you haven't subscribed to Smoke and Scan and you like that type of thing, he does like a lot of car chases and smoking, marijuana. Like, you can go over there and talk to D. He's a pretty cool guy. Pretty chill. Woodland Creature says panic buying is super embarrassing. People are doing it now. What were they panic buying the other week? Oh, eggs. People were going into the supermarket here buying like 10 different like packets of eggs. What? Like, you don't need that many eggs. You won't be able to eat them all before they go off. Like, what are you doing? Just buy a pack and move on. What do you need 10 packs of eggs for? What are you going to do with them? Jojo says, during COVID, I stood in line over an hour to get into a Target. I thought, only to find out it was for buying toilet paper. I bought some anyway. the luckiest queue in the world. LD says, yeah, the Tiger King documentary. Trish did part 2 of that, didn't she? Tiger King part 2? I'm pretty sure she did. She did one for Investigative Discovery with Jim Rathman, and she did a part 2 with him. Wendy asked it. I suspect all the stuff they hoard gets tossed later. Yeah, people have got more money than brains sometimes. Carolina said that was horrible. If I had a non-essential job, I would have made 4 times what I made. That's interesting. Jojo's funny is the funniest. Hey, is it Francesca? Am I saying it right? I hope I am. Jimmy Rees. Yeah, Jimmy Rees. He was really funny. I feel like he's dropped off a little bit now. I watched his he did like a live stand-up thing on Foxtel just after the pandemic, and I thought it wasn't that great. I don't think his comedy transfers like to in person. It's too hard to do. You have to sort of edit and do it properly. He tried to do it on stage with all the props, and it just didn't really work. He's a nice guy. He lives actually not too far from me, so or he used to. I don't know if he lives here anymore, but he actually lives about. So I live in my suburb. He lives in the next suburb over. So yeah, Jimmy lives down, or he used to. I don't know if he lives here anymore, but he used to live about a suburb away from Ping. Moonlight View says, and to think we used to decorate people's yards with toilet paper. Those were the good old days before someone would mug you for it. Carolina said yeah, please never let us go through that again. I hope not. I hope we don't ever have to do that again. Danny says, I like Nate Bargatsky. I don't know who that is. But I will tell you that I got some good news today. Before we go back to Virginia in a second, I got some good news, and I didn't know this, but do you guys know who Kevin Ashton is? Kevin Ashton runs a channel. I don't have the link on me, but he is a sorority cook. He cooks for a sorority if that's how you pronounce it, in the US. Basically, a girls, Greek life, thing in the US at a uni. He is their chef, and he cooks for the girls like every day. And I love his channel. I think it's one of the greatest channels I ever like. When I'm not doing true crime, and I get a break, I love watching his channel because I just love watching him cook, make all this fun food that's very quick and easy. He doesn't really, it's not gourmet or anything, but it's so good. It looks so delicious. But he got diagnosed with melanoma cancer about 18 months ago. And he just got his thing saying that he is healthy and good and there's no more cancer. And apparently the survival rate, he had stage 4 melanoma, and they were saying that his survival rate was 25%. 25%. That must be, I don't know how you deal with that, but he just kept cooking, doing his treatments, and he kept continuing to work through his illness. And I'm so happy to hear that he's doing good. He's a really good guy, really, really fun guy. I love watching him. And if you've never watched his channel, check it out. What is his channel? I'm probably just having a mental blank. Oh, it's just called Chef. No, that's not it. That's not it. Yeah, he's a sorority house chef. But what the hell is his? Is it Old Cool Kevmo? I think it is. I think it's Old Cool Kevmo. I think that's his channel. Let me just double check. Is this his one that I watch? Yeah. It's this one. Here, I'll put it in the chat for you. Go visit Kevmo's channel because he's so much fun if you like cooking and stuff like that. But good to hear he's healthy now. I'm glad to hear that. I hate cancer and hearing people suffering through it. So can't say fun guy. What? As in as in mushroom. Okay. That's his channel. Old cool Kevmo. I think that's the right one. Anyway, you might be able to find. He may have another one as well. But I'm so happy to hear that he doesn't have cancer anymore. That's shit. Like who wants that? But yeah, it's crazy. Stage 4, 25% chance to live, and he's cancer free. That's amazing. I don't know how you do that, but that's great news. What the fuck is that? Guys, give me a sec. Hold on. There's something sparking. I can hear like when there's like something not plugged in quite right, and it's like like that. Hold on. All right. I think my cat's knocked out the power cord for the monitor, and it was like not fully plugged in, and I could hear like the chit, like the sparks of the contact. It's okay. I pushed it back in. Moonlight View says Kevmo is cool too. Kebmo is cool too. I don't know what the. Yeah. Okay. SP Mama says, a few minutes behind even is extreme interest. No, anyway. Yeah, I don't want to do that again. Danny Mitchell says, anyone following Shadur Sanders? Yeah, he went to the Browns. So he went in a really, what was it, like pick 140 something, went to the Browns. Have fun. Have fun in the team of sadness. Jojo says, it's amazing when people beat it. I know. It's great. Chris says, well, at least her kids will be looked after. I'm sure they'd rather have their mum. Yeah, I don't think anyone would trade all the money in the world for their mum. I think they'd all rather have the personal experiences of their mum. So if you don't believe her story, even if you're on the other side of the debate, you can at least understand that there's 3 children who won't have their mum ever again. And if you can at least find some empathy for that part of it, I think it just shows that you're human, right? I can't imagine what that would be like for her children. They must be having a hell of a time. Marlene, so Ping, when are you leaving? I leave tomorrow. I'm heading down to Morwell tomorrow afternoon. It's about a 2-hour drive from here. There is no trial tomorrow. I hear there is something going on, but I don't know what it is. We're not invited to it. I think it's a closed hearing or something. I don't know what it is. Someone was saying something on Twitter today about it. But trial starts on Tuesday. So originally, though, she was booked for trial for Monday. So I don't know what happened, but in the last 2 weeks, it jumped a day by 24 hours. Supposed to be Monday, it jumped to Tuesday. So Tuesday is jury selection and impanelment. Wednesday is opening statements in the morning. And I'm not even sure there's going to be enough seats at the courthouse. I'm lucky that I should be able to get a seat because I've applied for something that should hopefully allow me a little bit better access. That's even not a guarantee. That's not even a guarantee. So I hope I'll get in, and it's supposed to be packed. This is a tiny country courthouse. This is not the Supreme Court in Melbourne. Supreme Court in Melbourne is huge. The one in Morwell is like tiny. I don't even know why they're doing this, but it's going to be crazy. But yeah, heading out tomorrow, I will do a live show either on the road out to Morwell or possibly from the hotel room when we're in Morwell. And I'll take you for a walk and I'll go to the courthouse and I'll show you the courthouse before the trial on Tuesday. so you guys can all see it the day before. And I'll show you the cop shop and other things out there. And then I'll run back to my hotel room and hide so I don't get stabbed. Okay. Carolina says, I can't believe with all the technology and all the years, we still can't beat cancer. I know, right? I don't get it either. I get confused with the day difference. Okay. So it'll be Monday if you're in America, very late on Monday. Like we're talking about after midnight. So more like Tuesday, very early Tuesday morning. And then the same, it'll be the same every day. So Tuesday, Wednesday, but very early in the morning, about 1 a.m., something like that. So LD said, awesome. Looking forward to your reporting on the trial. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's my first one in person. I've done a lot of trials online, Australian and American, but this is the first one I've ever actually gone out to. So this is a big deal. Can't wait. It's I'm a little nervous. Like the butterflies have been in the stomach for about 2 days. I've been a little nervous about it. I just think there's a lot going on, and I've explained before I suffer from pretty bad anxiety for certain stuff, and it's been playing up. It's been playing up a little bit. I've been getting like sort of a bit more frequently, and I think it's just nerves because this is a really big deal, and it's sort of a big career step for me. So I'm just a little nervous how it's going to work out. There's a couple of things I'm doing that I don't have full details on yet, even though I've been talking with some of these people for months, and I just don't have any like concrete plans. So I'm just sort of a bit nervous. Andrew says, I'm looking forward. I want to know what the survivor says about the lunch. Yeah. So Ian Wilkinson's testimony will be a highlight of that trial. He will tell us exactly what went down in that lunch. He is the only person other than Erin to survive that lunch. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, almost 2 years ago, a lunch was held not too far away from when we're going to the courthouse tomorrow. And this woman is accused. She is considered innocent until a verdict has been found. You must treat her that way too, okay? She is accused by the police of poisoning her family and friends. She is accused of putting death cap mushrooms inside a beef Wellington and serving it to the people at the lunch, where they proceeded to be poisoned and died over the next few days. The only person to survive that lunch is Erin and Ian. Ian survived after having a liver transplant. So we won't know too much more. Ian's testimony will be very, very important. I think he'll tell us exactly sort of what happened. We went here and we went in, and then this happened. I have some theories. I can't share them at this time. I will tell you after the trial, and I'll see if I'm right, and I'll tell you. Be safe. I can't wait to see you. Thank you, RX Girl. That is a very kind donation. Oh, it went away. That is an extremely kind donation. I appreciate it. I really don't think I would have been able to go without the help of people on this channel. There has been so many kind people who have, I don't know, like forgone a dinner out, or, forgone buying a new jumper, or, something like that, a new piece of clothing or something like that, to send me a little bit of money to help me with the trial. And if there's anyone that understands what that is like, it's me. And I'm very, very thankful. And I promise you, that's why I'm going. If, I've had, with my anxiety playing up, I've had some thoughts of like, can I just stay home? Do I really have to go? Like, it's very hard to leave your family for 2 weeks and head out to the trial. It really is. It's not easy. I'm leaving my animals and my partner and stuff, and I'm heading out for 2 weeks. But I want to do it, one, for me. I want to do it so I can do this properly and finish this story. I want to do it for you guys because I feel like I owe you. Everyone has been so super supportive and has been waiting a long time for this day. Over a year we've been counting down the days. So I want to do it for you guys too, and that's how I make that anxiety go away. Is like I know this is going to be really good. It's going to be an amazing time, and I think a lot of fun things are going to happen. It's going to be it's just going to be a lot of work. It's going to be a big work week, and that's why I've explained it to people. I've had a lot of people going, "Oh, you're going on holiday." No, I'm going to be working all the time. I'm going to be either in court, doing live streams, doing interviews. I've got something else I can't talk about right now, but I have another project that I'm involved with, and I will tell you when I can. But I've got that to do. I've got a couple of other media inquiries that they want to do an interview. Like, it's just full on work. It's not a holiday. So it's just content production and meeting people, networking, talking to people and stuff. So Carolina says, I think you feel that because you know it's going to be life changing. I hope so. I hope so. I really do. I hope so. I think that's the little, like, the next sort of bump, if that makes sense. I hope that's the next thing. Hey Hugney, how are you, my friend? Woodland Creature said, we can't wait to hear about when you're done. You will get some updates throughout the trial, so you will get some of the information from the courtroom. But as I explained it before, I can tell you what is said in front of the jury. I can't tell you anything else. I can't give you my explanations. I can't give you what I think, but I can tell you the facts. I can tell you what is actually said, what is put to the jury. I can maybe even show you the evidence, maybe. We may get evidence books that we can take photos of, or a press handout. I don't know yet. I asked, but they haven't got back to me on that yet. And if we're legally able to show you that, I will show you. Hey, Gucci Gremlin. That's a good name. I like that name. I would like to see a gremlin that wore Gucci. That'd be fun. She was killed. I appreciate your opinion. We've had quite a few people who think that. Marilyn says, once you get there, you'll be okay. I hope so. I've got so much to do, actually. I'm probably going to wind up the live stream in a minute. I've got to go pack. I've got to go wash stuff. I've got house stuff to do. I've got some forms and stuff I have to fill out for the trial. I've got to pack things. I've got to test stuff. There's a bunch of stuff that's got to be done before 2:00 tomorrow. So Marlene says, remind people no live chats, but live shows. Okay. There will be in the description, I will put it. So you will see that I will put the legislation about why there is no comments on this video, why there is no live chat. So you'll understand why. Then when the trial is over, I will re-enable it all. And you can go back and make your comments on each video. But during the trial, we're not allowed to. So if you don't know about this, we have a law in Victoria and other states in Australia called sub judice. And sub judice means basically you're potentially corrupting the court. That's the easy way of explaining it. You are basically poisoning the court with your opinion or your sort of coverage. And how you do that is by, say, if I went in there, say there was a guy and he robbed a bank and he killed the guy while in the bank. His defense is like, no, man, I was in the bank and a guy came in and I pulled my gun to try and save the security guard. And he's like, no, I was trying to help. And then the other guy's like, no, man, he had the gun. He was going to take the money. And I wrote on my live show and I said, dude, that guy's so guilty. Man, I don't believe anything he says in trial. And then somehow a jury member watched my live show after the court case, like after court one day, and they saw me live and they watched my coverage and they went, that guy brings up a really good point. I think I'm going to vote for this. I'm going to say he is guilty. So when we go into the jury pool, I'm going to take his advice. I think he sounds really good. And I'm going to say it's guilty. I'm not going to listen to the evidence because I think that guy broke it down really good. That's how you can pollute a jury. That's how you can get a mistrial. That's how you can really screw things up. The punishment is monster fines, like hundreds of thousands of dollars, or jail time. It's not like a month in jail, it's like 2.5 years in jail. So you have to be very careful. We have to do this properly. So just be aware of that. Carolina says it's almost like everyone under the same instructions as a juror. Yeah, it is very similar. So we're not allowed to approach the jury. We're not allowed to take video of the jury. And we must give them leeway outside of court. Like we can't surround them. You have to leave them alone. You have to give them space, that type of thing. So, and don't think if they approach you, you're supposed to walk away too. Apparently at the in the booklet that I got to read through, it says if a jury member even approaches you as part of the media, you have to walk away. You cannot engage. If you do, it's on you, not the jury member. So, Rachel said, I was thinking about that. Then we can ask questions after the trial. As soon as the verdict is in, I will be live and there will be an open chat. You keep all your questions, everything you've ever wanted to ask, write it down throughout the trial. And at the end, I will do a multi-hour live stream. You can ask me anything. I will tell you. You can ask me what happened before trial, what happened last week, what happened before you went to Morwell. I will let you know everything I'm legally able to. And I think as soon as we have a verdict, I can say whatever I want anyway. So there you go. 100 people watching. That's really nice. Be sure to sketch those testifying. No, we're not allowed to do that either. Not allowed to. So one of the examples that the court gave me, and I was speaking to one of the media team at the court, lovely people at the Supreme Court in Melbourne. I was speaking to one of their advisors, and she was saying that in other cases, like people have tried to describe like Erin Patterson, like not Erin Patterson, but they've tried to describe someone like her, and they'd be like, "Oh, she looked very frumpy today, and her hair looked like she was like hadn't washed it, and like like everyone was doing with Lori Vallow." And they're saying like her lipstick looked like it was Kool-Aid and made out of Skittles and stuff like that. That's the type of thing they're warning against. They're like, you cannot do that. You cannot describe her. You cannot like say things, anything like that. You can say Erin Patterson was here today. She arrived at court. She sat in her chair quietly. Like, I don't even know if you're allowed to say that. You just got to say like she was here today. That's it. Got to keep it very simple, factual, and no description, just very plain. So I've got to write all my notes, and then I've got to check them, and then I've got a lawyer, and I'm going to send all my notes to our lawyer, and then I'm going to get them checked, and then we'll go live. So I had to get a lawyer for this because it's so serious. The subjudice rulings are so serious that I had to get a lawyer on retainer. So we do have a media advisor. Oh, what happened? What's going on? Sorry, I'm not seeing the chat, my friend. What is going on? What is going on? What's going on with RX Girl? Oh, RX Girl doesn't have the thing. Okay, hold on, guys. Hold on. I'll get it for you, my friend. Hold on. It's up here, my friends. You have to go here, and you go here, and you take the link, and then you go into the chat, and you put it in the chat, and you go /. So if you ever want to do this yourself, what you do is you have to go to the main page of my channel, and it's like Nights with Ping, and you just put a / and then type join, and that's how you get the membership thing to pop up if you're on Apple or like that. So it's just like YouTube at Nights with Ping / join. That's how I know how to do it. That way it just pops up in your browser. I don't think so. I don't believe you're allowed to. They have a court-appointed sketch artist I think only they are allowed and have permission from the judge to do any type of graphic work inside the courtroom. There's no recording in the courtroom. You're not allowed to take any audio recording. You're not allowed to film anything. And phones must be on silent and laptops must be muted. So I'm not taking a laptop into trial. I'm just going to use my phone. I don't want to be there with a giant laptop, but we'll see. I am taking a laptop, but we'll see. I'd rather just use my phone and have it on quiet. I'd hate to be that guy in the courtroom, and then I open the laptop and it starts playing like a YouTube video, like you forgot to close down the tab, and it's like super loud. I think I'd get kicked out of the courtroom pretty quickly. Yeah, it'd be so funny. It wouldn't be funny. It would end my career in true crime. Carolina says, trying to help with the lawyer. I know how much it costs. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. That will help a lot. It is not cheap, yeah. Unfortunately, we were advised to do that from the Supreme Court. We had to. Can you audit transcripts? I can, yes. Which will help. It'll help because it'll have what you're allowed to say on it, basically. You'll have to pick the sections because it'll sort of have everything, but you'll have to know which bits you're allowed to talk about. But that's an easy way of attributing it to the correct person. You go through the transcript, you take the certain sentences and paragraphs. So yeah, it's very serious down here. Like it's crazy. But I'm expecting to have a fun time. Hoping to see a lot of people I know. Hoping to hang out with some. I think there's one person I know from the chat who's coming out. I hope they end up. I think they're only coming for one day. I hope to meet up with them, maybe have some lunch or dinner with them. I don't know anyone else. I'm happy just to lie in my hotel room and do content. And then I'm going home. On Friday, I'll be home. I'll be back in Melbourne. And then I'm heading back out again on Sunday or Monday. I'm not sure yet. And we're going back. So get 2 days off over the weekend. I'm going to be back home in Melbourne. Cool to see the Ko-Fi thing, though the NZ dollar is crap. I think $8 NZ for $5 USD. I know, my friend. I'm sorry. That's okay. I get it. Hey, Candor, the Enigma. That's a cool name. I like it. She put herself in danger coming forward. There'll be loads trying to keep her mouth shut. You could be right. I mean, if there's someone who could potentially take down people's careers, money, lifestyle, their wife, who knows? Like that, they could be in politics or something. How much? I'll give you a question before we go. How much, if you were a billionaire, would you pay to get rid of a problem? A lot? A few million? 20 million? 100 million? Like what would that cost? What would the difference be between you never being connected to something or potentially the downfall of your career, your life, jail, you'll lose your wife, the kids, everything, your social standing? What would you pay? And that's the question I'm going to leave you on. Let me know in the comments what you think that might be. Because I got to go do adult stuff. I got to go clean my backyard and stuff because we're locking up the house for a while. So actually we've got a friend that's going to house sit from tomorrow and just, do the cats and things like that. So, but I don't want my friend coming over and being like, wow, do you ever mow your back lawn? So we're going to do that. No, it's all right. We've got someone here. It's fine. Unless you want to fight them. They're a black belt ninja that's done 10 types of karate and has ninja stars and a shark with a laser. Yeah, don't come here. They'll fight you. They will. Carolina says, don't think it would take more than half a million. People who do that aren't rich. Okay. LD says, money can corrupt, but it does not always. The internal soul trumps worldly goods every time. Candor says, but I'm a good person. I would never be in that situation. You gotta tell me though, how much? How much? $1 million? Like imagine it could take down your life, like every level of your life, social standing. You'll never work for that company again, or if you're a leader in something, they'll just get rid of you. Your wife will take the children. She'll probably take the other half of your money too. Like, how much? How much is that worth? 92 likes is amazing. I think yesterday we had 3,500 views and 150 likes or something. I can't remember, but we had a lot of people. I really appreciate it. It's very kind of all of you. 250,000. Okay. If you haven't answered this question, answer it in the comments for me. I would appreciate it. All right, I'm going to go through everything. Carolina Carla, thank you, my friend. I really do appreciate it. You're very, very kind. And my friend RX Girl. Can't wait to see what you all get. It'll be fun, I promise. I'll take you everywhere I can take you. And Carolina Color again, and Jonah. Thank you guys for all the super stickers and all this. This will be the last live stream until you see me in Morwell. You guys will not get another one now until I'm 2 hours or so east of where I live, in a country town, going to a trial. So you will, yeah, there'll be probably no live show until I'm out there. So I love you all. Thank you to all the new subscribers. If you want that inside access to the Patterson trial, subscribe. Like, there is going to be, there's no one else who's followed it like I have. I promise you, I know more details, more everything about it than any other person on YouTube. There is no one more connected to this trial than me. I've done it since day zero. I was the first person to report this on YouTube. I guarantee it. Go back and look at the records if you don't believe me. I was the first person to make a video, and I followed it every step of the way for almost 2 years. And now I'm heading out to the trial. So if you want the person who knows every bit of it, you have to subscribe to this channel. I love you all. Leisha, my God, that is really generous of you, my friend. That is very, very kind. Hold on a sec. I just want to do one thing. You guys are ridiculous. I'm not gonna say anything, but I'll just say thank you. Thank you. It's very kind. Um, that is stupid how kind that is. It's funny. The two people who sent in a donation are two people who don't want me to say who they are, and I'm not going to. All I'll say is they know who they are, and their generosity has not gone unnoticed during the run up to the trial. I think there's like 4 or 5 people who have really, not that the smaller donators are not valuable or important, but there's been about like 4 or 5 people who have been really, really helpful and have funded almost 80% of it, and I really appreciate it. I really don't think I could go if it wasn't for you guys, because I just don't have thousands of dollars spare to put on something like this when, Mrs. Ping got so sick that we've had to invest a lot into that, into her health and things like that. Last year, we probably could have done it without the help, but when she's become so ill, it made it almost not possible. We were thinking in like January, I might have to tell you guys that I wasn't going to go because it was becoming almost a burden too big. So I really appreciate it. I'm so happy to be there, and the next time you guys will see me, I'll be out there. I'll be out at trial tomorrow afternoon. Do you guys want to live stream on the way out there? I was thinking maybe we could live stream in the car a little bit, and I'll show you the trip out there. So is that something you guys would be interested in? Because we're leaving at about this time, somewhere around then. I'm not sure. I think we've got quite a wide window when we can leave, about an 8-hour window. But I thought maybe you guys might like to see some of the countryside of Melbourne and Victoria. I thought that's not something we've done a lot of. And I showed you Tasmania in December, and I thought it'd be really cool. Sorry. Someone sent in that, I don't want to name the person, but that was really kind. It was really very kind, that donation that came through. Hold on. I'm all right. I'm all right. So that was yeah, I don't expect anything ever like that. You know, it was very generous. It's it's been a long week and stuff with the planning and stuff like that. So um, yeah, I really appreciate it. I hope this is gonna go smoothly. Who knows? But it'll be fun. It'll be fun. You guys are gonna have a lot of time with me too, because after trial, I'm not gonna have anything to do. Like, I'm stuck in a hotel room for 5 days. So you guys have got me for hours. We can hang out. Just remember that you'll probably see 2. You'll probably see what happens at trial, and then there'll be another one where we can talk about, like, other cases, like, from America and stuff, and the comments and stuff will be on. But you please, you gotta help me. You can't ask about the trial. And that's the agreement we both got to have. You can't ask about the trial. I will tell you when it's time. I'll tell you when we can do it, where we won't get in trouble. So, because I want to hold up my end of the bargain. The people at the Supreme Court have been amazing. They've been so kind, and for once in my life, I've actually seen kindness from someone who's not an asshole in the media and stuff like that. Like, Supreme Court have been amazing. They've been willing to work with me. They've been willing to help me. And for someone who's got a smaller audience, that's really nice. A lot of the other media have been really mean to me. They've been just rude, like just really rude. Like I'm like this tiny ant that they don't give a stuff about. So it's been really cool to see that from people at the media team at Supreme Court. They've been really nice, helping with inquiries and stuff like that throughout the week. So yeah, Rachel says, please show us part of the drive and we get to say hello to Mrs. Ping. Yeah, so she's coming out for a little bit of it. She has a surgeon scheduled, unfortunately, for Tuesday. So she's heading home pretty quick. Originally, we were going to head out today, but with the court being moved until Tuesday, we got pushed into a wall. She has to be home on Tuesday to see her surgeon. So um, yeah, so she'll only be there for a short time. We don't believe she'll actually get to see any of the court now because of the moving. So it'll just be me on Tuesday for jury selection, and then and you'll get to see me in a suit. I have to wear a suit to court. Did you know that? Not a suit, but I have to wear a button-up shirt, and a jacket and some nice pants and decent shoes. So you guys get to see business Ping. No hoodie. No hoodie. You'll get to see me wear a jacket. So I have to wear a jacket and a button-up shirt. I have to go mow. Yeah, I have to go mow. Okay. Yes, I do before it gets too dark because it's winter here now. All right. I'm out of here. I love you all. Um, I don't know if this person wants me to mention them. Hold on, guys. All right, I got to do this because I feel bad. Give me a sec. Legal hunting says safe travels. Thank you, my friend. I really appreciate it. I love your message. Thank you very much. I just want to check some of these other messages here from people. I feel like it just says it's supported. Okay. Thank you. Thank you to those people. If you didn't leave a message, I understand. I appreciate it. And I get your love. Trisha S says thank you. Thank you guys. I promise you. I don't think I've ever teared up on my live stream ever before. It's just been crazy. It's been overwhelming. I think the last couple of days have been a bit emotionally heightened a little bit. Gayla says, thank you for your evening and drive safe tomorrow. Yeah, I love you all. I'll see you tomorrow and get ready. This is it. It's over. A year. What is it? 15, 17 months of waiting. 17 months of waiting or something like that. Wait, what is it? May, April, almost May, June, July, 2024. No, it's like 2 years is 24. No, it's more like 22 months. 22 months we've waited for this day. It is tomorrow. It's like Christmas. It's like the night before Christmas. So 22 months. All comes to a head in the next 48 hours. I will see you then. I love you all. I will drive safe. And That's it. The last show from my home. I will see you out in Morwell tomorrow. Good night, everyone. Have a great night out there. Thanks to everyone. If you subscribed recently or today, thank you so much. And yeah, keep an eye out. I'll be on Twitter a little bit. I'll be talking outside of when I got time and stuff like that. But the next live show will be out in Morwell tomorrow. Bye, everyone. Love you all. Have a safe night. And see you later. Good night.